YouTube, what's going on? HeirofCarthage here. Are you ready for some more Shadow and Blade multiplayer? Well, I think you are, or else you probably wouldn't have clicked on the video. And if you're not, then you're clicking off right now and cursing my name. Hopefully not the latter, but anyway, I've got Malus here, along with the Dark Elves, ready to get into some fun action here against the Lizardmen, led by Milk and Cookies Total War, Indie Pride. So very excited to have him on the battlefield with me. I'm going to have a fun challenge on my hands. I've got 4 Bleak Swords up front, Malus Darkblade, a Death Hag, a Sorceress Lure of Shadows with Penumbral Pendulum, and the Enfeebling Foe. I have a Black Guard of Nagaron for some anti-large and armored infantry support. I've got a Witch Elf over here to help also support the Black Guard, and really these two are meant to guard the 2 Reaper Bolt Throwers, which give me range. I've got the Helleburnai Spear Regiment of Renown, some Cold One Knights, and 2 more Dread Spears. Now, Indie Pride is leading the way with his Ancient Salamander, and one might think, well, Air's got an easy range advantage on it. I do. I've got a few issues, though, and we'll see that as we look at his army. One, the Salamander's quick, kind of squirmy. He's not easy to hit with the Bolt Throwers. I had to change my target because he was forcing me to waste ammo. He's got a front line of Skinks, and they're spread across, some on the flanks, some up front. He's got a main line of Saurus, a Feral Bastiladon for support, a Slan Mage, Hylor. So an interesting pick there. He's got Fiery Convocation as one of his spells, as well as the built-in Banishment. He's got a Saurus Scar Veteran and a Carnosaur. He is supported by some Cold One Spear Riders and the HeirofCarthage cohort, Regiment of Renown. So I've got so many targets that I need to fire at with the Reaper Bolt Throwers that it's actually going to get kind of crazy. I'm assuming that this is probably intentional by him, knowing that that's one of the big advantages that the Dark Elves have. So I did go ahead and take a couple of shots out here at some Feral Cold Ones. Don't know why I picked them, but the HeirofCarthage cohort will get some attention as soon as I'm able to give it to them. So this is going to be a tough battle. It's going to be a tough one. We got a lot of big targets to take out, so I'm going to start it off right up front here. Keep Malus and his Sorceress right in the thick of the fight to down these Saurus Warriors. I've got the Death Hag in here with me too, so these Saurus Warriors will be significantly debuffed. And the Bastiladon's coming right in. That'll work to my favor. I'm going to drop a Penumbral Pendulum here to try and immediately even up the fight against these Saurus Warriors, who are technically superior to my units. Now, as of now, my support units are all in place, and they should be, because I need to be back here with these Reaper Bolt Throwers, and I've switched my target over to the HeirofCarthage cohort. This will give me some very quick value, but I see the incoming targets here, and I go ahead and start to move my second line forward, and Indie Pride drops a very well-timed Banishment here, which just lands all over my Blackguard, and then my Witch Elves are running this way. I didn't get an order to get them out of there, and so I lose a tremendous amount of value right here to that amazing Banishment that he dropped on me. So what a play that turned out to be for Indie Pride. Fortunately for me, the HeirofCarthage cohort's getting slaughtered, but I've also taken massive damage to this Ancient Salamander, which I just have no answer to right now. He's got 87 kills, and that's not going to stop anytime soon. I broke up this fight, or mostly broke it up. My Bleak Swords did rout because of the terror, I believe, coming off of this Feral Bastiladon, but my leadership was able to mostly break up the Saurus Warriors. I drop another Pendulum on this flank to give my Dread Spears a chance to hold on to that fight. Yeah, you can see the terror is already gone. I'm headed back in. Wow, yeah, it's just been rough. It has been very rough on my elite units. My Witch Elves got knocked out entirely, like utterly and entirely. But again, fortunately, a very nice unit in that HeirofCarthage cohort is almost gone. So we've done a ton of damage to it. Over here, my Dread Spears are going to have a hard time holding. And this was inevitable at this point because I just don't have the units to hold this back. So my Bolt Throwers are unfortunately going to get hit, and because my support units got sacrificed, I moved them forward too early. Should have just stood back, and then when you see the Banishment coming in, just back up. Don't let it hit you. Because my leadership is doing a great job of handling these fights in any one given place they need to. With the combination Death Hag, Sorceress, and Malus, they could handle a lot. Now, I do see an opportunity to attack the Slan Mage, and this is an important one here. He's going to get some support from the HeirofCarthage cohort, and he needs it, because he was getting killed very quickly by Malus. Malus can cut through a Slan pretty darn quickly. See another Pendulum coming in, trying to support my troops, and that Ancient Salamander firing in as well. So my back lines are in quite a bit of disarray. Indy has a unit he's mismicroed back here in the Skink cohort. I'm mismicroing a couple of units that come back from routing, so we both have some improvement that we could have made here. And I see that I had an opportunity to try and kill the Slan, but we just couldn't get rid of all of his hit points fast enough. I'm going to have to flee away as I'm being chased by 4 single entity units and infantry. Fortunately, the Papa Pot cohort didn't get on me too quickly, but unfortunately, my sorceress finds herself in a bad position, and I'm going to have to get her out of here. I'm going to try and pull back through these spears and see if I can get her back to safety. I'm not ready for her to be killed. Good for me, though. I'm able to save my artillery somehow from the cold ones, and the Scar Veteran, of course, had moved on, so unwittingly, Malus had kind of ended up saving me here. My few regrouped Witch Elves and Blackguard now find themselves in a decent position. However, my Sorceress is just in here getting dumped on, and I just can't get her out of the fight. She's getting blocked by too many units, so she is probably going to be gone. But I do get an opportunity to get on the Slan Mage again with Malus and start causing some damage. He drops his second banishment, pretty much wiping out the Helleburnai. So look at this Slan Mage here. 70 kills so far, and they've all been very high value kills. Good news for me, though. I've got an artillery unit back, and he doesn't have anything that he's moved to attack it yet, and is getting some very nice point-blank shots right at the Slan Mage. Bad news, Malus has got himself in a bit of a tough situation here. This Death Hag, though, is helping me so much because the units that are around her get nerfed into the ground, and it slows down their effectiveness, which is very nice. See, I'm going to use the Blood Prince here with Malus, draw on all of his power, deal as much damage as I can. Right now, doing a little bit of damage on that Ancient Salamander, actually a lot of damage. And then you can see that the artillery now has garnered the attention of Indy, and unfortunately for me, Malus is stuck in another fight, and he's got a friend coming to visit him. Not a friend that I want to see. Not a friend I want to see. This dude is taking some nasty artillery fire. So over here with Malus, I'm going to go ahead and transfer into Zarkon. I had some more hit points, though. We'll see whether or not this is premature, but transferring into Zarkon is going to give me an immense amount of power on the battlefield, though it means that Malus will die. It's just a matter of time at this point, because his hit points crumble away, and he gets into a crazy fight here with Feral Cold Ones, a Scar Veteran, and Saurus Warriors, and he just does a tremendous amount of damage despite the shield that was up. He is just starting to slice through the Scar Veteran. I get my Dark Riders. I'm going to try and come in here, but it's too late. Some of my artillery goes down. I'm finally getting my Bleak Swords back in towards combat. But can the demon Zarkon in the form of Malus's body here pull off the win? You can see the Scar Veteran very near death, and he drops a big ol' whopping hit there. Malus gets in one more hit, drops the Scar Veteran some, but not enough, and the Apotheosis keeps the Scar Veteran alive, if only just. And that is a big victory for the Spirit of the Jungle here. My leadership is not going to be able to hold up against a Feral Bastillodon, an Ancient Salamander, and a Carnosaur that's going to come back, all of which have Fear and Terror. So my army is toast. It is over. Well played by Andy Price. That was a fun one. I went down really early, had a couple of chances to bring that one back. Couldn't quite pull it off because I couldn't get his key units quite off the battlefield. I almost wonder if I transformed into Zarkon just a little too early. Obviously, there was the mistake of getting my stuff banished so hardcore early on in there. But that was also just a really good play. The banishment isn't like attached to a unit. Indy put it in a nice place. My attention wasn't there, and it just landed just the way it needed to. That spell's also kind of random, and it stayed right on the target where it needed to be. So it was like this sweet combination of just nice placement and good luck all at the same time. And that's always fun when that kind of thing happens for you in the game. This Ancient Salamander actually ended up being a fantastic pick here. I just did not have an answer to this thing. Not a good one, at least. Like I said, the bolt throwers would just be wasting ammo as long as he's micromanaging it. Now, if he stops microing it, the bolt throwers are very good versus this thing. It just caused it took out a whole infantry unit. Probably half of 2 different infantry units at least, and then was able to help ward off Malus and some other stuff. So you don't get to see these Ancient Salamanders being too great. They are really good, though, if you can get them in this position, like I was here, where I just didn't bring the right units to keep it away. Some crossbow cavalry, something like that could have been very effective at keeping it away, but not what I had here. Not what I had here. It just did not work out well. Now, as far as my Repo Bolt Throwers, they didn't get a ton of kills, but they did inflict a whole lot of damage all over the Papa Pot cohort, which is a very nice cavalry unit, and also did some serious damage to the Slan Mage. So not a ton of kills in the end, but they probably did get their value. I think the worst thing for me was just these witch elves. They got no value in this fight because they got utterly decimated. Now, so did the Blackguard, but they still managed to pick themselves up a chevron here because they're just a very tough unit. They're always good in a matchup versus Lizardmen. The Lizardmen don't have infantry that trades well with them. They don't have large units that trade well with them. Missiles are really their only answer to it, or just overwhelming force. So the Blackguard still ended up kind of being useful here because of how long they stuck in the battle. Honestly, the Dread Spears probably performed better than the Bleak Swords here. It's probably because they have the higher melee defense, so maybe I should have just brought Dread Spears all along the line or something, because then they're also good against large as a secondary. Anyway, it was a great battle. Really enjoyed this one. A lot of fun. Appreciate Indie Pride playing it with me. And if you guys haven't seen his channel, first of all, you're crazy. How have you not seen his channel yet? This guy's making some awesome videos. He's got fantastic commentary that he really writes up some clever stuff to it also. It's really thoughtful commentary in terms of being like dramatic and other stuff. I like it. He does a good job with it, edits his videos very nicely. Always something interesting. He gets into mods and other stuff like that, like the Steel and Faith overhaul. So if you guys haven't seen it, go check it out. Definitely appreciate having you here, but I'm also saying he's also a good creator, and you should check it out. Anyway, HeirofCarthage signing out for now. I'll be back with some more soon. Appreciate Indy helping me get some of these battles. See you next time.